you, it's an honor for me to be here. I really appreciate being considered a winter maintenance expert. As Mr. Lashmet alluded to, I am chairman of the Clear Roads Pooled Fund, and I really appreciate him plugging the pooled fund. There's a wealth of knowledge on that website. I encourage you to go take a look at it, see some of the things that we've been doing. This is such a beautiful country here. It reminds me so much of our foothills, and I can understand your passion for wanting to keep this place nice. This doesn't work. Use this. Okay. So I want to give you a little bit of information about Colorado, about CDOT itself, about the history of our program, and how we got where we are today. We haven't always been a liquid-only state. So I'll give you that. So this is, you can read all of this as well as I can. Thank you, Mike, for pimping the map, because, and you got to correct your geography, but that's okay. I really suck at the geography back this way. Colorado, you actually pointed to one. But this is it's okay, it's a big square state, we're used to it. As you can see, we've got everything from our desert southwest down here where we use a little bit of salt brine to the high country up here. Actually, this area right here is our most snowfall. Last year they had over 300 inches. I live on the front range over here, right here where the 61 is, and that's about what we got last year, about 60 inches. On average, Colorado gets about 60 inches if you average it out all across the place. You can see here our average elevation is 6,800 feet, so living at 6,000 is considered a flatlander. Let's see, the low humidity is key, and the thin atmosphere. So we get a huge influence in solar radiation. We were talking just a little while earlier, we can have a snowfall 2 inches overnight, and by 5 o'clock the next afternoon, there's no hint of snow except for where people pile up after shelter. That really helps us out a whole lot. Another thing with our elevation differences here, we've got vast temperature swings. I've been out there on the side of the road and had it go from 60 to 20 in and out of 2 hours. It's incredible when you get it done there. Show you a little bit about CDOT itself, this map. This shows our engineering regions. We've got 5 engineering regions. For some reason, it's not regional enough. This right here is region 1, and then the other regions around. My engineering regions are divided into 8 maintenance sections. The maintenance sections are further divided into maintenance sub-areas, foreman's areas, and they do all the hard work. All I do is I establish the contracts for the trucks, establish the contracts for the technology that we use, establish the contracts for the de-icers, and I give them the budget to manage them. More about CDOT. You got 43,000 lane miles, you said, no? 42,000 lane miles. We only have 23,000 lane miles. We take care of the interstate, the national highway system, and the Colorado state highway. Everything else is left up to the counties and the cities. In a few places, we contract snow removal with the local city or county. For instance, State Highway 2 runs right past our headquarters in downtown Denver, but we got tired of arguing with Denver about we're keeping it up, well, you're not. We contracted out to Denver, so now all we have to do is call them and say, geez, where are you from? We do have 3,000 CDOT employees, over half of them work for maintenance. We actually have 1,800 maintenance employees, 1,500 are contractors. We have our folks work a 12-hour shift. If for some reason their replacement can't get there, we have state statutes that allow us to work another 3 hours, but then we mandate a 5-hour rest period, and then we can start over again. Luckily, we haven't had to do that, but twice in my 30-year career. say on that slide, in addition to the normal accounts, we've got 3 tow plows. We just started the tow plow program last year. We bought the 1 tow plow, we used it on 1 storm. We made the section that decided to piloted that tow plow, came to me and said, you know what, we don't need those 4 trucks next year. I want 2 more tow plows. So we're up to 3 plows now. We also have a dozen tankers. As I said, we're a magnetic chloride. We're primarily a liquid de-icer state. This is not the switch that's still working. So today we're primarily a liquid de-icer state. Primarily a liquid de-icer state. Our de-icer of choice is magnesium chloride. I'll get into this a little bit later. But our use of mag chloride has really helped us maintain our highways the way we want them. This, and along with our use of other technologies like the tow plow, MDSS, despite other people not having as much success as we have. So this is our evolution, or we'll talk about our evolution here. 25 years ago, when I last sat in a plow truck, and this is how long ago it was, those of you who've been in a plow truck, I had 4 levers, a seat, and a steering wheel. I didn't have the joystick, I didn't have the computer, all that. Plow up and down, plow left, right, sander on, sander off, and head up and down. That was it. We use salt and sand. We use a good bit of salt and sand. Our sand, we had it at 8% salt at that time, and the rest was sand. And that was all well and good. We got great traction because of our sunlight and that factor, hitting those grains of sand. When I say sand, I mean 3/8" minus gravel. It heated up and it caused all the snow to melt, and we were in good shape, very good. It also gave us some really awesome sunsets, as you can see here. Then we found out what was really awesome, those awesome sunsets, was particulate matter less than 10 microns, PM10. And EPA got us pretty hard on that one and told us we had to clean up our act because the brown cloud, as we affectionately call it, was not a good thing for us anymore. About the same time, we noticed some sedimentation in some of our prime trout streams. The main route from Colorado, from Denver over to Grand Junction on the western slope is I-70. It goes up to 11,000 feet at the Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel. It goes up Clear Creek and comes down Straight Creek. And we found, the environmental agency found that there was so much buildup of pulverized gravel that we've been putting down on the road that it was basically eliminating the spawning areas for the trout. It was killing their food sources. It was a big problem. So the governor came to my predecessor, the guy who started our de-icing program, and said, I can't exactly quote it the way Mr. Fink quoted it to me, but the gist of it was, you, Mr. Fink, will fix this problem. So Mr. Fink decided to do it. And we embarked on a series of research projects. We did a synthesis. We looked at every bit of research that was out there about alternative de-icers. And as a matter of fact, I got 2 drawer lateral file cabinets in my office full of all that research. Come on up to Golden. I'm happy to share it with you. It's too much to digest, too much to carry around. But we wound up looking at some of the science behind snow and ice and the science behind ice melting. We've already talked a little bit about this. But these are the eutectic curves for natrium chloride, sodium chloride, and calcium chloride. And as you can see, calcium chloride is wonderful. It just keeps working. 60 below. I think I saw 20 below on the thermometer once, and that's when I decided that ranching wasn't for me and I went to school. But then we looked at the sodium chloride, and that dropping down right there, about 5 to 7 below, that just wasn't good enough for us. We looked at the magnesium chloride, and we saw this being good to 27 below, and thought, that's a pretty good product. Like I said, we've got some extreme temperatures. It can be, on an average winter day, it can be 20 degrees at my house in Golden, but at my cousin's place up in the mountains where I used to work on the ranch, it can be 40 below. We've got some extreme cold. So we looked hard at the magnesium chloride. The other thing we looked at the magnesium chloride was we've got 2 chloride ions. Sodium chloride is just 1 chloride ion. We're looking at that, and it's the chloride ion that melts ice. And look at that. That's a pretty good idea. We, let me make sure I'm on the right card. We thought that might have a good impact on us. And then when we look at this from a sharp study, we look at the melting capacity of those various chlorides. And again, we've got, I didn't get right into the colors. The sodium chloride is down here, not melting very much. The calcium chloride we thought would really perform a lot better, but it didn't perform all that great. We got up to the magnesium chloride, and that's what we're considering. And it can melt a heck of a lot of ice at one time. What is it? 1.25 milliliters per gram of application, 5 degrees. That's a pretty good. Ice melter right there. So we use it at about. We use mag chloride at about 23% concentration. We use that down to 17 degrees. From there, we switch to a low temperature mag, which is essentially a 30% mag chloride mix. That takes us down to 7 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, depending on where you are, we'll either switch to a solid magnesium chloride, and this is a proprietary thing we buy from Redmond Mills out in Utah, which makes it nice and cheap for us because they just have to cross the Rockies. It's pretty good cheap for us. I'm sure it would be cost prohibitive back here on the East Coast. But we use a product called Ice Slicer. It's 95% magnesium chloride, and the other 5%, I think 3% of that is other salts, and 2% is clay. And their literature says that the clay attracts sunlight and helps with the solar radiation burning out the ice. No, it shows our drivers that they're actually putting down a product, which I know is a problem when you're putting down straight salt. You can't see it behind you. But we can see this brown material out on the ground. It also helps our traveling public. They see the truck go by, they see the brown stuff come out the back, they know we're trying. So, Mike mentioned the Pacific Northwest snow fighters earlier. Colorado was one of the lead states when we started Pacific Northwest Snow Fighters. Ed Fink was one of the founders. And they put together these limits for what constituents can be in the various de-icers. You can see that in most cases we're very close. Well, all of these are exactly what the limits are in the Pacific Northwest Snow Fighters. We test for all those heavy metals. It's important to note that I heard someone talk about corrosion. We require all of our products to be 70% less corrosive than a straight sodium chloride. So we put in corrosion inhibitors in all of our products, including the salt line in my 2 road maintenance sections. Another thing I'd like to point out, you guys have an incredible watershed here. We're semi-arid. We were talking about on the way in. We had 12 inches of moisture. That's between our 60 inches of snow and whatever rain we have to get in the summer. So we looked at ammonia. The Pacific Northwest Snow Fighters said that 10 milligrams per liter of ammonia was sufficient. It will not harm fish or our water body. We couldn't get him to put it in writing, but our researcher from the University of Colorado size of our watershed. He hemmed and hawed, and we never got an answer out of him. But when we said, well, how about 5 milligrams per liter? He said, So we stuck with 5 milligrams per liter. Now, the manufacturers of these different de-icing chemicals, they balk at that. They whine every year when I renew our contracts. But that's where it needs to be as far as I'm concerned. I'm a fisherman, and I don't want to bother our fishery any more than I have to. We'll talk a little bit about our situation today, our budget, material usage, technology, and our levels of service. So winter 13 and 14 was a big winter. We had a lot of snow, and it got an early snow, and then it kind of calmed down, and then it hit us. I know everybody, all the other states were scrambling looking for de-ice or looking for salt in the January, February timeframe. So was I. I had 8 carloads of magnesium chloride sitting on a side rail in Salt Lake City because it was more profitable for the railroads to haul other commodities than to haul my $1.28 a gallon chloride. That was a big problem for me. Anyway, we had what I thought was a pretty good budget. I have to budget winter 2 years in advance. So I looked at the last 5 years of winter, and that was a good winter, that was a bad winter, 80%. And so I'll budget 80% of this normalized 5-year winter, and that's what I came up with. And then winter hit, and that's what I spent. Thank God for our Transportation Commission. They put aside $10 million every year because they know the weather forecaster over Channel 9 only has to go out 9 days. They know I have to go out 2 years, so they got a little sympathy for me, so that's good. We exceeded even that, so we had to get into their emergency plans. But they were real good about helping us with that. A couple of things that we had, we talked about the hard winter and the late winter. Our last snow was in June, so that wasn't very good. But the other things we had going on is we had an increased emphasis on mobility at the I-70 corridor. That's the corridor that takes people from GIA up to the ski areas where they can spend their money. And I know you've got a similar situation here, that this is a moneymaker for the state, and that's good. But we had an increased emphasis on mobility at the direction of the executive director. The other thing that happened to us, and I don't know how many of you are really involved in the winter maintenance community to this extent, but we had an unfortunate part of our winter maintenance is controlling outages. Every one of our state highways and the one interstate that runs through the mountains, they're impacted by outage paths. We have to go in when conditions are right, close the road, break down the outage, clean it up, and the traffic goes through. We had an unfortunate incident. We had 2 of our employees injured with one of our weapons that had a misfire. We had a round explode in the chamber. So I said, we're not going to use that device. We have 30 of them. We're not going to use those devices anymore this winter. So I have to rent helicopters at $3,000 an hour to take care of our avalanche programs. And that's what contributed to our $72 million. This is a chart, and you can get it off of the website, I'm sure. You can't read it all here. But basically, this is our material usage. Just over last year, we used 11.5 billion gallons of low temp matter. That's 93% of our liquids. We use 600,000 gallons of salt brine, sodium chloride brine. And again, we're only using those in the desert southwest and the desert southeast of Colorado. The conditions are good there. We're trying using it in other locations. We had ice skating rinks as soon as we applied it. It just froze that quick. And then straight magnesium chloride, we use about 250,000 gallons. Then with our solids, this is what I want you to take away here. Our ice slicer, which is the solid salt that we use 40,000 tons. That's it, statewide. I did the math quickly while Mike was talking. That's 1.25 tons per lane line over last year. It's not a whole lot because we're a liquid state. We use the liquids. 360 gallons per lane mile over the last year. I know Europe needs some hundreds. This is a little quicker. The technology that we use, Mike talked about NDSS. This is the setup in our trucks. This is why I can no longer plow. It's like a rocket ship in there. We use the NDSS. We've seen about a quarter reduction in our overall costs. Labor, equipment costs, and materials. We were able to document that in one section. It's to each his own. It's working well for us. One key to it is the ROS stations, the Road Weather Information Center for Service, or Environmental Sensor System, ESS. Those are key to having the NDSS work. If you don't have a good grid of ROS stations, you're not going to be able to use the NDSS. The other thing we have is our ADL and GPS. I can sit at my desk in Golden. I hear we're having a problem on US 36, I'll pull that route up and I'll see 4 trucks together running westbound. Well, I can call them up and say, 2 of you need to be on eastbound. Let's get this right so that we can get our LOS where it needs to be. So that's helping us out. The other thing, as I mentioned before, we're embracing the tow plow. A lot of people look at the tow plow and say, oh, well, you're going to fire the driver. No, that's not the case. I want to take that driver that I don't need because I've got the truck going down here with the wing on the left, the front plow, the tow plow out, and I'm taking the left shoulder in both lanes of I-76 up in northeastern Colorado. I'll take that extra driver and I'll put him over on US 34 where I'm understaffed. That's what I'm doing with the tow plows. Level of service. Our level of service is pretty complicated. We developed it back in the late 90s, but I think it's time for a tweak. We'll get it figured out. But it's based on the condition of the roadway, of course. It's also factors in the functional classification of the roadway as well as the ADT. So this slide gives you a verbal description, and that's just too much to read. You can get it off the site later. Verbal description of each of the levels of service. The big thing on all of these is traffic is consistent with wet pavement and prevailing weather. Traffic moves reduced speed, slowly, very slowly with delays, walk in both directions, substantial traffic delays. We've got one roadway that's already at LOSF right now. We've got Highway 5. It's the nation's highest paved highway. It goes up to the summit of Mount Evans. We closed it on Labor Day because you can't keep up with the snow up there. It's close. It's close. So we also provide our employees with these visual cues. Again, I'm not really happy with these because if you look at it, LOSD looks a lot worse than C. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. And then these are the conditions. This is where the meat is. The conditions, and this next slide, the classification, the highway. So our Transportation Commission has given us direction to go to LOSB for all of our state highways. And LOSB, with that, so if you look down LOSB, it's the same as A for NHS interstate above 15,000 cars per day. LOSB for the state routes over 50,000. We've got path prohibited. We've got air, wet, with slight delays. So basically, we have that top picture. LOSB for the state routes over 50,000. Then we get a little bit, we've got to go down to condition 2, which is, if you read here, patches of oatmeal, snow, slush, isolated delays. Oops. And then LOSB for our mountain passes, which is, those are actually the entryways into the ski areas. LOSB there is oatmeal snow, snowpack, and icy conditions with reduced top travel time. So that's really all I have here. I hope I gave you a little glimpse about Colorado, CDOT, and our history with the liquid de-icers. The big thing to remember is we looked at the various salts. Magnesium chloride provided us 2 chloride ions at a reduced price compared to calcium chloride. And it provides us a very bang for our buck. And it's working well in our environment, in our climate, and in our conditions. So with that, I don't know if you have time for questions.
Just 30%, you said you get the chloride 30%, 70% water, is that?
Yes.
And then the bigger question is, what have you found out about the environment?
We haven't really noticed any issues with the environment using the mag chloride. We've had a lot of people call and complain, oh my God, you're killing all the trees next to the highway. One nuts, this tiny little bug, wiped out our entire lodgepole pine population in the state of Colorado. I don't think that magnesium chloride had anything to do with that. I think it was just other
And the water?
water. We're not seeing anything other than we're not having to dig all the sand out of the rivers anymore. Will you go first?
Did you say what you used for an application rate down?
Oh, I did not. My application rate on the magnesium chloride for the regular mag chloride as well as the low-tech mag chloride is 20 to 80 gallons per lane mile. And you can do the calculations and figure out how much chloride that actually is. I had that, but I left it back at the hotel.
And you recycle the trucks during the storm with additional liquid applications, or that the storm starts or down?
We follow the DSS recommendations, and we do not anti-ice. We don't put anything out before the storm. We had issues with that. We got called on the carpet for wasting product because the storm didn't come in. But as soon as that first flake hits the ground, we're out there treating with mag chloride. That's the beauty of our use of the MDSS system, is we're able to predict that storm coming in within 10 or 15 minutes. And we get our people out there. My wife, she'll tell you a story when I was plowing. She got up in the middle of the night, the phone rang, she said, "Yep, there's a snowflake, you better go get it." So, I'm there, waiting all of the storm.
And the chemistry of the constituent material, the total phosphorus numbers were extremely high. Is that, are you seeing any impact on your watersheds there, or is that, do you have any idea in terms, I wrote down 25,000 milligrams per liter. Do you have any idea how many pounds of phosphorus you're spraying in a year?
That's 25.00.
Oh, okay. Can't see it from back here. That makes me feel a lot better. That 25,000 was scaring me.
25,000 was scary.
Anyone else? Well, thank you very much. Oh, what you were saying about in tow, you have a pull of another truck for
the tow bar.
last thing. So where are we supposed to do work?
We tried one and we did 7.
So we got a regular truck with a front plow. We don't want 100 dollars. And then we got the tow plow. swings out. The three that we have just swing out to the right. It's got a hopper on it. It can spread solids or liquids. In this case, it can spread solids and pre-wet. There's a liquid tank. There's a solid hopper. We love it. We love it. It's hydraulic. Developed by a farm here out of Missouri. And it works just like the hydraulic brakes. It just swings right out the side. We love that.
Any